Welcome everyone to another episode of Hair the Dogcast. We are joined by two absolute fucking legends right now.
Legends!
This man right here, Master Daniel Pesina.
This guy.
Played Johnny
How's it
Cage
going?
and every ninja ever.
Hair of the dog.
He almost
And brother to
punched me.
Raiden as well.
Yes.
Yes. And we have Tony Marquez, Kung Lao, badass extraordinaire.
Yeah.
The
Rock
testosterone
star.
levels, the
Shaolin
muscles, they have
rock
just gone
star.
through the roof with these two here.
That fucking hat. That fucking hat.
And we're joined, of course, by
The
Terry
best Mortal
Diebold.
Kombat character.
What
Terry
up,
Diebold.
everybody?
He's the owner of the Nintendo
Welcome back.
PlayStation. How's the convention going so far for you?
Oh my God, this has been so much fun.
It sure has. Midwest Gaming Classic always brings a great party. If you missed it, come out next year and join us. We are, man, there is no restrictions to us.
You know what? We still got a couple
We're learning
hours
that very
tonight.
quickly.
We got tomorrow, Midwest Gaming
tomorrow.
Convention. Make sure you come out.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a good time.
So, how was the game originally pitched to you? Were you guys just sitting around like, you know, what'd be really cool is, or somebody said
The
like, hey,
game
I
was
got this
originally
idea.
pitched with. So what happened was John and myself, Carlos, Tony, Hosang, we wanted to do a fighting movie for John's college project.
Oh wow, okay.
So before Mortal Kombat, or before he went to Midway, we wanted to do that, but that never happened. So years later, he's like, remember how we always wanted to do a fighting movie? But I think it's better if I have a chance to do a fighting game, so I want to pitch this game to the company I work for, which was Midway. So we snuck into Midway, because John was like, I don't want anybody to know my idea of a fighting game.
Yeah.
And then we did a video, and we videotaped some movements, and we presented that to Midway. And from there, it went to like, oh, we want to do something from Van Damme. So that's later on, a different game.
Yeah.
So eventually they said no to Van Damme, and it went back. Rich DeVizio, he bugged John to go back to the original idea of doing this game that later on was called Mortal Kombat. So we started working on this game, and later on, about 40 or 50 hours into it, we let Ed take a look at what we're doing. And he was like kind of forced into doing this game, but
That's crazy. Yeah.
but that's how it became. We were like, oh, we have this idea. Big uppercut, all these fucking moves like this. Oh, we want to have 3 fatalities. We want to have blood. We want to have brutalities. We want to have X-rays. We want to have
Stuff that
if
was
you
brought
fight-
in later in the system.
Yeah. We want to have fights where 2 guys show up and you have to fight 2 guys at the same time, like in Kung Fu movies. We had all that stuff already for the first movie presented to them.
Yeah.
right.
Did you guys know with the first game that you were making something like pretty special and new? Because the motion capture technology used in games, that was a pretty new revolutionary thing you guys were doing. Did you know that what was going to happen, that you'd be down the line still
as
talking
far
about
as
it?
myself, Carlos, Rich, and John Tobias we always thought it would be a cool game to do.
Sure.
Thought, oh, we're gonna make this game awesome.
Yeah.
And it's only gonna be 200 cabinets, but it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
And like I said, Ed, he didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
He was like, oh no, this game is not because it's about a quarters. It's not about being a legend.
I could imagine too, once the game came out and then the violence controversy happens, I can imagine all of you just being pumped about it, laughing.
Oh, yeah.
It was good news, right? So how long after the first game came out did you take for you guys to realize this is something big, this is something special? Was it almost immediate that you guys kind of knew something was happening?
Well, the first time John tested the game, he delivered it to a local Chicago arcade.
Sure.
And it was Super Bowl Sunday night.
Okay.
So he's like, well, we're going to test this game, but I don't expect it to be too good. So 1 or 2 hours later, the owner of the arcade said, hey, call John Tobias, and he's like, something is wrong with the game. So John comes there, and he looks at the game. He's like, oh, the coin box is filled. And John Tobias looks around. There's nobody in the arcade.
Yes.
But for some reason, the coin box is filled. So he empties the coin box, and it goes back to normal because it's designed to shut down if it's not taking quarters because it's an arcade game.
Right.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So John did that 2 more times. And he was like, he called me up and he's like, holy shit, this game is in one night we already maxed out the quarters 3 times. This is going to explode.
Wow.
So then we knew that MK was going to be super good.
So you guys were, when you were shooting the motion capture stuff, each character, was that about 3 days, 4 days of shooting, something like that? A lot more?
Johnny Cage almost took up the whole freaking 9 months.
9 months?
Yeah, because we did not know what we were doing. So when John and I were, John Tobias, the creator of Mortal Kombat, and I were in the film studio with nobody else but him and I for like at least 40 hours creating a path to Mortal Kombat.
Really?
Yeah, we shot Johnny Cage for 5 days. Even before we shot, we allowed Ed Boon to come into the studio.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we already had a pathway to we wanted Ed to, and too, at the time, it was just the way it went. No offense to Ed or anything like that. We had okay, these are the movesets we have. How would we adjust them for you to program? And Ed came in at that time. He was like, oh, we're going to make these adjustments. And then he would leave and we would make those adjustments. And later on, I think when we made those adjustments and he looked at it, he was like, holy shit. Everybody started looking at it and like, holy shit, you guys are fucking,
right.
This is going to be like, holy, this is going to be legendary.
Yeah.
You know, and we had started having people from Midway stop by just to watch us film, as Tony could vouch, us, because we were creating a game as we filmed for the first 1 and 2. It wasn't like afterwards they had like stuff. They would God, this is, we should do this while you're filming, and then we'd be like, this is the better idea.
One idea leads to another idea. Okay.
So we were really collaborating with the first 1 or 2 games to create it. So we were just.
Did you have a move sheet that you were trying to?
We didn't even have that.
Okay.
So it's like, maybe I could do this move, maybe I could try something like this.
The first day was like, okay, he was like,
I got an idea.
Tobias like,
and hit somebody in the balls.
No, John Tobias was like, okay, punch to the face. And I was like, he was like, what? I was like, what kind of punch? He's like, anything you would think of. So we spent the whole day, we spent like 3 hours like punching like this, punching like this, punching like this, doing this, doing eagle claws, doing like every kung fu technique that I could think of. Next day, this didn't work. We got to make it bigger because we can't recognize what's happening. And the video camera was owned by John's dad.
Yeah.
No way.
So it's not even
they
professional.
stole it.
Dude, it's not even professional. So you can't even capture like what's going on.
Is it a VHS camera, right?
No, it's a high 8.
High 8.
But high 8 back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's next day he's like, dude, you got to move way slower, and you got to make the moves bigger because everything's grainy, and I want to get as many frames to do this project as I can.
So you have to do it like in slow motion? Or?
So any kick had to do like really slow motion. Anything we did was really slow motion. So you're kicking at somebody's face 50, 60 times, 40 different ways in slow motion.
Yeah.
The days get long.
That's why you get professionals that can do these moves. I can last like 5 seconds trying to do those
kicks.
But
it's John Tobias, my friend. So I am doing falls on concrete, and at the end of the day, one day I was like, John, I'm falling on concrete. I don't think anybody else you get in is going to be falling on concrete. He's like, yeah, for those guys, don't worry. I have a
we'll do it.
Pad.
Yeah,
right.
I have a pad.
It's fine.
I have a pad we can put in front of them so they don't have to fall on concrete. And I kind of looked at him. He looked at me. He's like, winked and pointed at me because he just laughed at me, making me fall on concrete because we're friends.
And that's when you invented the fatality.
No, because again, because John was one of the guys, him and Andy, who did the artwork for Nintendo's project for Mortal Kombat. Mm-hmm. We're always the dungeon masters. So I looked at him and I was like, "Oh, you fucker, you got me."
And Tony, were you around then too, or were you waiting for your call and they said we need Kung Lao in full form?
No, so at this point, we're all training. I end up dropping a weight on my toe, broke my foot.
Is that why you weren't in the first one?
Yeah.
Oh no.
And so I'm watching these guys like, you fucks. good for you.
But you got in there.
Yeah,
Right.
But
That'd be my
eventually
reaction,
they
too,
needed
like, you
another.
lucky fucker.
Now we're talking about Mortal Kombat 2. They have a Shaolin monk, Liu Kang, played by Ho Sung Pak, and he's a pretty big guy, and relative to everybody else, these guys are all pretty big guys, and John Tobias doesn't think that Tone is slimmer than the rest of these cats. I don't know if he's gonna be what we're looking for. I tell Danny, hey, you know what? Tell John Tobias to get to the gym in 4 weeks. Give me 4 weeks. Let's see what happens here. Right? I changed my training. I focused on weightlifting, but he walked in like, oh my God, Dan, how are we not working with the cat already? And then when you look at the drawing for Kung Lao, oh wow, he's slimmer. He's smaller frame than Liu Kang, but he looked like a fucking badass. Oh fuck,
I wouldn't
you
mess
up.
with him. I wouldn't mess with him.
Fuck you up.
So you know that in the end, Kung Lao is when we were creating him with Tony's help, is the Clint Eastwood fistful of dollars for a few dollars more character.
Man with no name. Yeah.
He is that guy.
Yeah.
That guy who was hired to come in because the government didn't want to get in politics, who wanted somebody to clean up the whole mess, who doesn't have that moral ambiguity. And that is Kung Lao.
And that is
not
Tony.
Liu Kang or Raiden or anybody else. Tony is like, no, my planet must survive. I will kill anybody who
Don't give a
my
fuck.
planet. I don't give a fuck. Yet, when we were first pitching the game to Midway, I told John that I would not do the game if the Lin Kuei, which would later, at one point where Scorpion and Sub-Zero originally were brothers. Lin Kuei brothers.
Yeah.
And Scorpion murdered the father to seize hold of the Lin Kuei tribe, and Sub-Zero being the more powerful one. I hate to hear it, tell the fans, but Sub-Zero is the more powerful
You just pissed
guy.
off so many people right now.
I always made this Sub-Zero. I love Sub-Zero. Yeah,
and
that's good.
killed
Better than Scorpion?
Scorpion.
Yeah.
Come on.
So he killed Scorpion, but
No.
Scorpion was so mad
I
that he
refuse to
could
believe
not
it.
control the Lin Kuei family that he came back later. That is the original idea.
Scorpion's so mad, he just can't kill him.
Yeah.
He will not die.
Yeah, I know everybody's going to be like, oh
Sad that
no,
he won't
Scorpion's the
die."
best. But this is the original idea, not later on. Later on, you could change it how you are, because if you want to make money, you could change the story. But guess what? Scorpion is the badass motherfucker. So when we were pitching the game, I told John Tobias that I would not do the game if he did not include the Lin Kuei.
Yeah.
So the Lin Kuei and the way they're dressed, every time you look at Sub-Zero, Scorpion, or Reptile, Saibot, think of me, because that is my idea.
Great work.
Good job.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I love in the first and the second game, there was this mystique to the cabinets, because you'd have Reptile just giving these cryptic hints in the first game how you're supposed to find him.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like characters
The moon.
hidden in there, and you had to do special ways around the cabinet
Yeah.
to even see him. That's brilliant.
Yeah, for a secret character, when we were filming Raiden, it was myself, my brother Carlos, who's Raiden, and Rich, and we were goofing around, and then Rich and Carlos actually were like, oh, you know what would be really cool? If you hit like a bunch of buttons, and then all of a sudden you had to tag team Raiden and Kano against you.
Oh yeah.
Like the old Kung Fu movies.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that is the original secret character idea.
Yeah.
That's great.
You know,
yeah.
And then again, Sonya, when we were filming Sonya was like, when I was like, okay, you're going to do, I came up with the kiss of death. And then I was like, oh, you're going to do the kiss of death. And Sonya was like, I don't want to do the kiss of death. Why can't we all be friends?
Friendship.
Oh, there you go.
That in number 2 came out with the friendship.
Friendship.
Why can't I turn you into a
Friendship.
baby? Come on.
Babality.
The baby
That was
came
your
from
idea,
Ed. Well, in reality, Ed
Drunk one
Boone
night.
has
Everybody's gonna
credit
be a
for that.
baby. It's gonna be awesome.
And in reality, Ed Boone has credit for that, because when he was playing other people in Mortal Kombat, he'd be like, "Why don't you be a don't be a baby?"
Yeah. And that's like, you actually are a baby. Yeah. Did you have feedback as far as characters' moves, possible fatalities? Were you in that conversation?
In the conversation, it was always like, Daniel, think of something cool to do. So that was the feedback for the first 2 games. So I thought of Kiss of Death.
Which are the best 2 games?
Katana Molina's special moves or something like that, or my creation. Like, so a lot of the creation was myself and the actor.
Yeah.
And that was it. That John would just let us, because John just wanted to create the best fighting game ever because he was an artist.
Yeah.
More than, no disrespect to Ed, but Ed was the company's guy. So he's looking for the money.
Gotcha.
So John was looking for being the legend.
Yeah.
So I think that was basically what John wanted to come back for MK, but they didn't allow him because someone said that we already have John Tobias's ideas, so we don't need him for MK. And that was like 6 or 7. But I think that without him, if they would have John back, they would have a whole fucking franchise that would last like 100 years.
Yeah.
Because that guy is fucking creative.
So do you guys still follow the Mortal Kombat series then? Are you still waiting for the new games?
A little bit. My brother Carlos, who's Raiden, has worked on every game except for the first one, and he was also included on the pitch to Midway. So he's the
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's the only one who's been pre-Midway to be on most of the games.
Wow.
That's incredible.
That's a lot of games.
Yeah, so shout out.
I have most of them at home.
Yeah, he has more. Yeah, he has a lot more patience than I do. So yeah.
And I'm kind of shocked that when he said like Ed Boon was kind of lukewarm on the whole concept, and now like Ed Boon is like the face of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that because the company needs a figurehead.
Yeah.
So that doesn't necessarily, even though he's a co-creator, it's not the originator. So
Right.
Ed Boon is not the originator. He is the co-creator, and that's just the way.
Yeah.
Anybody who works for a living knows that. If you do something good, your boss gets credit for it.
Yeah.
And that's just
That's
the
why
way
I
it
don't ever
rolls.
do anything good at my job.
Yeah, that's just the way it rolls.
True
And
that.
you know what? No
Yes.
offense to Ed. He's wrote it good, and he's got a good life and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But he's not the originator. He's a co-creator, which is very different than what we are.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Badasses.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You were in the trenches.
Yeah, we saw the vision right away. He didn't see the vision because he needed to see. When we were shooting the videos, I think then he realized he was like, holy shit, these guys are fucking really,
Oh wow, yeah.
these guys are on fire.
Yeah.
Nothing matters to them. The only thing that matters to this group is making the best fighting game ever.
Yeah.
And that was something he was not used to. But
Take
God
that,
bless him.
Street Fighter.
And I
Yeah.
hope he succeeds. Ed, love you,
Yeah.
brother, and stuff like that. But this is what reality is, and maybe it is good that he didn't see the game for what it was at the beginning and later on, because he carries the flag now.
Yeah.
He didn't carry the flag when we created, but he carries the flag now,
That's
and
true.
that's
Listen to
what's good.
Scorpion, Listen to Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you guys have gone to, I'm sure, tons of conventions. What are some of your favorite stories, your favorite people you ran into? You got any stories that really stand out to you?
On the first Mortal Monday, we are in London doing Mortal Monday because Acclaim is based in London.
Sure.
So they hired us to go out to London, and I'm posing for pictures, and then this guy sticks out because he's wearing a hat that is half different, and he's wearing like a long pant and a short pant, and he's wearing like everything doesn't match. Or he put this together, his outfit. So I'm watching him go around, and he sneaks around so I can't see him. I'm posing for pictures. All of a sudden, I feel somebody from behind me reaching up and grabbing my balls.
Oh, yeah.
And I turn around,
Good
and
morning.
this guy starts running away. And before I can do anything, Sonya Blade, Liz Malecki, grabs me by the shoulders and starts laughing. And she goes, dude, that guy just felt you up. And so me, Ho-Sung, and Liz I laughed so hard and too much to pursue this guy.
Oh
and,
my
and that's
God.
when you realize the drop to the knee, drop to your like splits and do the nut punch.
Yeah.
You knew.
That's what they call Mortal Monday.
Right.
Yeah.
And Terry's been with us. Terry's been with us around the world. He knows that there are countries around the world that.
Almost got tossed out of.
Do we want to share? Do you want to share these stories?
Yeah,
at
let's
all?
get some of
Maybe
these.
at a later
Screw the Mortal
date.
Kombat
Maybe
stuff.
at a
Let's
later
hear all the
date.
debauchery.
All I got to say is, like any country that doesn't have like firearms, good luck throwing us out.
Can confirm. I'm terrified of them. Yes.
I have to ask, how many times have you used the split leg groin punch maneuver in real life?
On
In
a
real
police
life,
officer.
the split, and on anybody, not a lot, maybe only a couple hundred times.
Yeah.
Well, true story.
Oh,
One time,
wow.
the creator of Mortal Kombat, John Tobias, myself, Tony, Rich Savizio, Carlos, we all hung out when we were younger before Mortal Kombat. So eventually, after we were doing Mortal Kombat, we went to a bar, and this guy, he must have been like 6'4".
A real
He was
Goro.
a friggin' really
A real
big
Goro.
guy. Like, because he's drunk, he bumped into John Tobias, and he
Yeah.
bumped into another guy, and I was like, holy fuck, you don't bump into my friend. Sorry if I got to bleep that, but yeah,
Fuck
I
it,
was like,
fuck it,
Oh,
dude.
no.
this motherfucker
We
is
don't
going to fucking go
censor.
down. And because of his size, the bouncers in there did not approach him, but I was like, you motherfucker. He turned towards me, he threw a punch, I ducked under the punch, and I fucking did an uppercut.
No way.
And fucking
Yes.
Through the roof.
There's a pit.
ask John Tobias, because he always tells this story. And after I hit him, I looked at him, I was going to punch him again, and I realized, oh,
And
this
you ripped out his
guy's
spine.
Done.
this guy's eyes are in back of his head, so I'm not going to hit him again. All of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, it looked like this, and I see somebody flying through in the air. And it's Kano, Rich DeVizio, jumping up in the air and I could see him going to do a flying knee to this guy's head. And dude, I felt like, no, because we're going to murder this
Yeah,
guy.
this was all going on in slow motion.
Yeah, because when you're in martial arts,
Yeah,
everybody,
I can picture
when you're in
this.
martial arts, when you're going to get into a fight, it's really weird because everything turns to slow motion. Everything
bet, yeah.
doesn't happen fast. But then I was like, oh no, and Rich hit this guy in the chin with a flying knee. And I was like, oh, fuck,
my
we're
God.
going all to jail for murder. But the bouncers saw him hit the ground and bounce a little bit and dragged him
Drug him
out.
out.
And and the bouncers brought me drinks, the bar brought us drinks, and we're all cool.
Flawless
And-
victory.
Yes.
Oh my God.
True story.
So this is the pre-Mortal Kombat days? Is this how you guys got the
Pre-Mortal
gig?
Kombat.
No,
You were just there at the bar,
this
just kicking
was
a guy's
after.
ass? Okay.
This was after Mortal Kombat because the creator of Mortal Kombat,
Oh, yeah,
John
yeah,
Tobias,
yeah, right.
we used to
Okay.
hang. When we were in the same neighborhood together growing up, we grew up with him.
So you
That's
guys
our
were all
break.
friends before
Yeah,
the game
way
started.
before Mortal Kombat.
Like
yeah.
most of everyone that was involved there in the game too?
Everyone in number 2 except for Liz was a friend of John Tobias before Mortal
That's so
Kombat.
cool.
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons groups or something,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Really? That's awesome,
Yeah.
man.
We were geeks.
Yeah.
Geeks who would.
That
We
kicks
still
the
are.
ass.
We still are geeks.
some
Just
of the
geeks that'll kick your ass.
Geeks who could kick your ass. Some of us were DJs, or some of us were artists. John, my brother, and Andy, who drew the stuff for Nintendo,
Yeah.
was an artist who worked with John, doing art before then. But yeah,
Did
we're
you-
all geeks. Yeah.
That,
How about you, Tony?
We were at, I think it was a CES. I can't remember what show it was. But anyway, we're there. We're all
Vegas?
staying at the Beverly Hilton.
Okay.
And
LA.
Vice
Yeah.
President Gore is also there. He's doing a speech or whatever. We're all there. We're all doing whatever we're doing. We're all doing whatever we're doing. And
Beer, drinking.
things start breaking. Glass starts breaking. And with Vice President Gore there, second most powerful man on the planet,
Oh, no.
you have all these, Secret Service guys, and glass is breaking, everything's breaking, and we're running. We're running away from Secret Service guys, hiding in our room.
Might have been working for Shao Kahn. We don't really know.
That's right. He invented
It
the
could have been
internet.
Shao Kahn.
I have seen so many Mortal Kombat shirts today. I've seen your faces all over everything.
Everywhere, yeah.
You guys are truly fucking legends. And I know it's risky for me to say this, knowing you two and your appetites, but you are welcome
Say
to
it, Brad.
free beer for the rest of your lives whenever you come see us.
You're the best.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you guys have any other questions you'd like to ask our guests here?
Where are you headed to next?
What's going on?
Parts of the world are you flying to?
Actually, Kung Lao is working on a new album because he's a rock star.
What?
He's Kung Lao.
Yes, there's new music on Spotify, iTunes,
Really?
Google Music. Yeah.
What's the name?
Yeah, what's the name?
It's the band is Kung Lao and the Scorpions. The album is Believe.
Yes! Yes!
So yeah, make sure you follow. Get your stuff on Google Music, iTunes, all of that, Spotify, all of that good stuff.
You'll hear him tonight if you're coming out for karaoke.
Oh, that's great.
We're going to be doing
Yeah, we're
that
there.
shit.
In the story, it's the White Lotus Society and Kung Lao trains a new generation of Shaolin monks. In our reality, it's me at EKF Martial Arts training a new generation, maybe not to protect the Earth realm, but to cage fight, to do wushu, to do all of these, everything that's martial arts related, and to hang out with my brother Johnny Cage.
You too.
And to find out whatever trouble we can get into. That's what life is for us.
There's
right
going
now.
to be a lot of trouble, I
Terry,
have a feeling.
bring the bail money. Yeah. Myself, Master Pesina on Facebook, Master D Pesina on Instagram, Master Pesina on Twitter. Just tune in. Need something? People, keep creating. Don't friggin' give up. Because Mortal Kombat was started by a group of geeks. We were all geeks. Just because some of us were martial artists, others were artists and breakdancers and DJs. They weren't badass physically.
Right.
But the whole thing is they had a support group that was like, for me and my friends, I was like, anybody ever fucks with you, just come fucking call me. I'll take care of the physical part. That's what I'm saying to you. Create. You need somebody physically backing you up, get a hold of my ass. I'm not too old to fucking beat somebody's ass.
That's right.
Sorry. It's going to
And
happen.
one day, you too will be
And-
running away from Al Gore.
Yeah.
And if you don't have confidence,
But
you can
you
go
know
be a
what?
student at his dojo. He will teach you.
No, and
Yeah.
I
Just
cannot back
keep
this
creating
up
and
enough.
get out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be who you are and be proud of it, and don't be ashamed of anything.
Yeah.
Whoever you are, don't be ashamed of that shit. You got people who will back you up. If you look for us, this group will look for us. If you can't find me, find one of these guys.
Yeah.
They will get in touch, and we'll freaking figure out how to back you up.
That's
man.
right. I will
Just keep
stare
creating.
passively aggressively
Use your
at
creativity,
any
yeah.
adversary.
I think that's a
I
great
totally
note.
agree with that.
I got bail money. Anybody bulls you, if they bull you, don't worry.
Our buddy Brian here said he wants you to punch him in the nuts before you leave sometime
I'm
tonight. We'll drink some
sure
beers
That would
first.
be awesome.
Yes.
Guess what? I'm
Yeah,
gonna get
we'll
paid,
disappear.
and he's gonna smile after I punch him in the nuts.
Yeah.
This sounds like it's going to be a party. huh?
Fucking legends. Thank you guys so much for
thank you.
coming
I
on.
appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank all
Love
of
to have you on the
and
Hair of
You
the
guys,
Dogcast.
thank you.
Yeah, you've
Thank
been watching
you for
Hair
your
of the
time.
Dogcast.
Hair of the Dog, thank you for tuning in on us and hearing us talk about this stuff, because without you, we are nothing. You guys are the shit.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, let's all yell it. Let's all yell it.
You know what we're going to yell, right? Can we yell
Mortal
it?
Kombat?
Yes.
Yes. On a count.
Mortal Kombat!